Diana Rossini reported today that Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams is available. We talked about this last week. Should I get excited? Do we got a shot?
I don't know. And even if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Why? Fantasy purposes. Let me know.
Every week, who are we getting this week? Who are we getting that way? Y'all just need to relax. All right, guys, welcome back to another episode of Not Just Football with Cam Heyward. You know me, you know Hayden. It's a special week. It's Cam's Kindness Week, and we have to look back at Sunday Night Football. What'd you think, Hayden?
Oh, it was great. I was there, obviously.
Yes.
It was a great night. Fan base was out supporting, and it was great. How did you feel about it?
I think it was pretty good. Had to do with a little bit of traffic. Just worried about, we had a special guest, but, we kept it moving, and, we had a lot of success on Sunday.
Yeah, no, I thought the defense played great. You got to be really happy with what you got from them, right?
Defense, I thought we started early. We had a couple hiccups midway through the first, but then second half, man, we really put it together, not getting up any points. I know people are going to say, well, they're still going through some growing pains over there, but playing a guy like Aaron Rodgers, got talent all around. Our offense was able to take advantage of that. And so when you do that, I just think we took advantage of our opportunities, and it made for a special showing that night. And we got to wear the block jerseys.
Oh, man, those! I'll tell you what, I don't know how much we want to get into that. The gray face mask, I think we need to go to those full time. Those things are sweet. Man, full time. Go those need to be the full time uniforms.
Okay, you like that. My hot take is that we need to go back to the block numbers, but with the white pants and the yellow helmet.
As the full time or just a
full time?
No.
Those have been locked up in storage for so long. We need to bring them back full time.
You need to bring those out occasionally. I like those occasionally. The ones on Sunday need to be worn all the time, though. Those were beautiful. You mentioned the offense, though, and obviously we're going to have to address. I thought Russ looked great. Struggled a little bit early, but I thought the fan base, too. We'll get into them later. Booing after 4 possessions is ridiculous, guys. Come on, we got to be better than that. I thought Russ played great. What did you think?
I thought Russ played very, very good. I think the running game, between Najee and Jalen, really, got us going. I think Russ found a lot of people. Obviously found George. George had a big game for us. Found Darnell Washington. Found Pat Fryermuth. Found Van Jefferson. Found Calvin Austin. There were a lot of people who contributed, and Russ did a great job of, getting the ball out to everybody.
Yeah, I thought it was a really good performance considering he really hasn't played a whole lot of football the last couple of years. He obviously was, I believe, benched at the end of last year, and then coming through the injury, fought through. I thought he looked really good running, too. I know there were questions on how well he would move. I thought he moved really good and made a couple plays with his feet. But, man, it felt like the offense, everybody was really engaged. And I really think I saw Justin celebrating on the sideline with Pickens. I think it's really cool to see everybody kind of supporting each other. And like you said, George looked great on Sunday. I mean, that's what he can do, right?
Yeah, and I'll just say this was Russ before I move on to George. Between Russ and Justin, they've always supported each other. I think a lot of times we've pitted, not us, but, media and people outside the locker room have pitted these guys against each other. They've been very supporting of each other, and, they've made the team, and that's all that's mattered. And I'm appreciative of it. It doesn't bring any extra drama. They've just come in for business, and, they both come ready to perform.
Yeah, no, I saw Darren Orlovsky posted a clip of one of the deep balls to George. Justin sitting there celebrating, putting his hands up. So it was cool. It's really good to see the support because, even like the team you guys played, there's kind of been some stuff going on. Like it's not always easy when you have a quarterback change that everybody stays together.
Yeah.
All right. Well, we also got to talk a little bit defense. Beanie Bishop.
Wait. Before we get to that, I gotta give George Pickens some love.
Go for it.
I think he's been in the media a lot these last couple weeks. GP came to play. It wasn't just catching the ball. He had some big blocks for Russ. He had a big block for Pat Fryermuth. GP, when he is on fire, he's on fire, and we get him involved early. He's going to have a lot of success, and you saw what he could do. It doesn't matter who he's going up against; he's going to have a lot of success.
That block for Pat took out 2 dudes. Didn't commit a penalty either. That was great. And Pat Fryermuth, that catch, Good ball, great ball by Russ, but what a play by Pat on that ball that got to the red zone. So, man, offense looked really good, and Najee Harris once again another great week.
Yeah, yeah.
All right,
Najee is just running hard, run towards daylight. I think getting Jalen back in the fray between those two, and then we should be adding Cordero Patterson in the next couple of weeks, or even this week. I don't know, but getting that group more stabilized and healthy at the right time should pay dividends. Going forward.
yeah, it looks like Jalen Warren's starting to feel good too, that's another guy that can really help the offense. I want to go to defense though. Beanie Bishop, we got to give him some love. I mean, that guy played awesome on Sunday.
Yeah, Beans played pretty good. I think he did a great job of, seizing those opportunities to make some big plays. Being an undrafted rookie and picking off, Aaron Rodgers twice, man, you better hang that up in your living room. You better put that ball underneath your pillow. I think, this is a game that he'll forever remember, but I think this is something you can build onto. This is something you can say, this is what I'm capable of. Now let's see if I can keep doing it week in and week out.
Yeah, I saw he said he wants to see if Rodgers will sign the balls for him, and I think he said he would. So he should get that done and keep those because it was a great game. Now I will say I gotta ask you about something.
All right.
On his return, on his the second one, his return. What was that block? That was beautiful.
Oh, it's a box out block. Because we can't face the opposite direction and block an opponent, or you get a penalty. But the trick is, you hit them with like a butt block, and as long as you don't hit them with forward momentum, you're good. And it's something you learn in the tricks of the trade.
I just think the funniest thing about it is that's where Patrick Queen has a big hit there. But as I'm watching that clip, I see 97 come in, and it looked like basketball. You just came in and boxed the guy out.
The crazy thing about it is the ref did throw a flag out there, and I looked at it and I was like, how the hell are you about to throw a flag on me? Like, I didn't even, make contact going forward. And he picked it up, and I'm like, we were already dealing with a lot with the penalties, and I'll get to that later in our game balls and TFLs. But, man, there were some people laid out in that field on Sunday.
Yeah. So obviously you just said you're going to get into it later. Now, can you explain to me what happened on the blocked extra point? I didn't think it was a penalty. Now, is the penalty he cannot propel himself off of the offensive player or the defensive player?
Either. And the funny thing about it is the gap Minka jumped through is called the jumper gap. Around the league, everybody knows that is the jumper gap. Usually you see guys jumping over the middle. You can't get a running start and jump over the middle. That is a rule now. Or propel yourself. If you push off of anyone, even your teammates, you will be called a penalty in, the A gap right next to the long snapper. But you see plenty of people doing it. And it was crazy to put points on the board or to take away points when, you give a team an extra opportunity. We went from giving up 0 or giving up 6 and getting off the field to now giving up 8. And that could decide a game. I don't think the ref felt very comfortable doing that. There was a lot of talk during the game after that, and it was like, why are we still having a debate? You should feel, confident in your answer. And if you don't, that leads to not everybody knowing the rule book and not everybody understanding what's going on in that situation. And, you just hope you have better clarity, or New York comes in, handles it, and you move forward. Because, saying, oh, that was wrong after the game, New York, you could have changed that. You could have simply looked at it and said, nah, we're not calling that. You move on, ball keeps in play, but if we're gonna, ridicule refs, we have to be ridiculing New York as well, because they have every opportunity to overchange the call like that.
That seems like a perfect 1-2 change, right?
Yeah.
It was pretty obvious, and I'd imagine obviously I was at the game, so I didn't hear the broadcast, but I would imagine on the broadcast they were saying it wasn't a penalty. There's
Yeah.
nothing more frustrating when the guy who's in the former referee who's in the booth with whoever's doing the game says, "Oh, that's the wrong call." When New York could have easily, like you said, buzzed down and changed the call right then and there. It would have been easy.
Yeah.
All right, well, what do you think of Rodgers and Devontae Adams?
I think there's already a connection there. They're still working through some things. The one thing that Aaron's very good at, and he doesn't get a lot of respect for it, he knows how to hot route against anything. And so, even if it's a called run, he knows how to even, check to a pass real quick and communicate with his wide receivers pretty good. And they're only going to get better from here on out. I did hear Devontae's trying to get traded this week so he can play against the Giants.
Or play against the
Play,
Steelers
play
again.
against the Steelers one more time, but we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah, you beat him 2 weeks at a row. I wonder how many times that's actually happened.
I don't know. That'd be a really cool Jeopardy question.
Yeah, no, that's sports trivia. You're right. One thing you mentioned last week that Rodgers was really good at, that him and Tomlin kind of went back and forth again today, where he tried to catch you guys with 12 men on the field late in that game. Pretty
Yeah.
funny that you knew that was coming, and Tomlin knew that was coming. That's clearly something he's really good at.
Aaron does it to everybody. He looks for, the change of pace because, as a defense, you only want to sub when the offense is subbing. If you get into an occasion where, the defense is subbing, but the offense is, he's going to take advantage of that. He's going to make you pay. Luckily, we were able to call a timeout. Funny enough, during that play, before it happened, I was, running on the field because we were subbing, and, Keanu Benton was not paying attention at the time. He was literally dancing, and I'm like, Keanu, look at the ball. They're about to snap the ball. And he was like, what are you talking about? And I'm like, bro, get ready. Luckily, we called a timeout, but, if they had snapped it, we were about to be in a world of hurt. And we laughed about it after, but I was like, bro, don't be doing that. Don't be dancing on the field acting like we're all good. We got to get the hell off this field now.
Man, like I said, you called that last week that he's really good at it, and clearly Coach T knew what it was coming to. Brees Hall had a good game, but how happy are you with how well you guys stopped the run on Sunday?
We stopped it in some, strong ways, but I thought, the difference in the game was definitely the turnovers, and getting off the field when we could. We had some self-inflicted stuff. When we got penalties, they were able to put together drives, and we got to clean up our tackling, especially with that Brees Hall dump. We got to get them on the ground. But I will never cry about winning a 37-15 game, and you take the win and you keep moving on.
Yeah, no, I was thinking about when you talk about penalties extending drives. I think back to that Larry O play. Larry O gets a huge stop on first down. It was going to be like 2nd and 13. I didn't think. I mean, come on, he can't even hear the whistle. Like, come on, the refs. We got to be better, man. We got to be better. Okay?
It's funny. Like we talk, they made such a big deal and say the whistle was blown, and then there was a lot of opportunities where plays were extended on the other side of the ball, or they blew the whistle. They blew the play dead, but then the ball was still going forward. So even that Jalen Warren at the end of the game where you're trying to get a couple more yards to end the game.
Oh yeah.
And so it's a fine line where you want a play to extend or you don't, but it felt like early on, like, man, we got to be careful with this because they're really searching for some stuff right now.
Yeah, no, they were killing, but it's crazy. Only gave up 6 points this week in the second half. Didn't give up any last week. What's going on at halftime where you guys kind of adjust and it's really hard to score? Because I thought really the second half defense all year has been really good.
Wait, we didn't give up any points in the second half this week.
Oh, it was this week. It was 6 points last week. Excuse me. I'm sorry. Yes. Sorry.
Yeah. I think we're making good adjustments. We're coming out focused in the second half. The key is to start fast. You start fast, on paper, we're our second halves are been golden, but the challenge is to start fast and stay fast.
Yeah. One more thing from this game. I don't know if you saw the clip. Did Rodgers eat that booger?
That will be addressed in my TFL.
Okay, okay. I didn't know that. All right. Hey, 5-2. You got Monday Night Giants coming up, man. Let's get to 6-2 before that bye, baby. Let's do it.
Let's go. Let's
All
get
right.
it.
You want to go 3 and out?
Let's go 3 and out.
All right, let's go first. First down, we got Chris Godwin last night got hurt in their loss to Baltimore. The big question on this is the game was probably out of hand. To fans, it was out of hand. I know you guys never think it's out of hand. And people have started to question Todd Bowles on should he have even had Godwin out there. Where do you stand on that as a player? I know you never think you're out of it, so you probably agree with Bowles on this, right?
Yeah, the way I was taught in this game is, you might be down 3 scores, but that's just 3 plays. And you got to be locked in to, be ready for any play. I think you were up this weekend and we were talking about the Tampa Bay Indianapolis game years ago,
Yep.
where, Peyton Manning crew, they were down big, and they made a miraculous comeback all in the fourth quarter. And you just don't know what can happen. Obviously you can't predict injuries. If you could, you would, take that player out in such a case. But, you live and die by it. If you're going to play the game, you're going to play the game, 60 minutes included.
Yeah, I almost wonder though, they had lost Mike Evans earlier, and that looks like he's going to be out until at least week 11 or 12. So you'd already lost one of your best pass catchers, and Godwin's having such a great year. I don't want to say wave the white flag, but I can understand we just lost one of our best playmakers, and now you've lost another guy who, I don't think he's going to play again this year. That looked like a really, really bad injury.
But let's talk about it. You already lost one of your wide receivers. How many wide receivers do you have on roster, available?
Fair.
So, we can sit up here and talk about oh yeah, we want to put somebody in, but maybe you don't have that many to, the Steelers, we've had, sometimes 4 wide receivers available to us in a game that, if you don't have that many guys up, what are we really talking about?
Well, you're right, 53-man roster, and I actually heard Ryan Clark say this last night. He's like, this isn't college, this isn't high school. We don't have 100 guys on the roster that you could just throw a walk-on out there.
Yeah.
There's only 53 slots, so that's actually a great point. So there might not even be an opportunity to put him out, but, man, just terrible to see that injury just so late in the game. That was most likely out of hand. They ended up losing anyway. It's crazy, though. The players will never, ever wave that white flag, will you?
No, never. That's the fans' perspective. That's the FanDuel, that's the DraftKings, that's everybody else but the players.
We're just trying to protect you guys. That's all.
Oh, thanks. You're trying to protect your fantasy leagues, okay?
Yeah. Well,
you don't give a damn about us.
Listen. Obviously, no one cares, but man, I will say, Chris Godwin was crushing it in fantasy, as is Mike Evans. Mike Evans is, that guy's awesome.
I'm talking about our producer, Zach. He's a casual fan. You're a casual fan. You guys are all just casual fans. You don't give a damn about us. All you want to do is your team have plenty of, points. And, oh, man, this guy got, he got 3 extra catches for me. Oh, my gosh, this guy didn't. Man, bump that. You play the game to play the game.
I like points, but not against you. I have the Steeler defense in most leagues. So, really, I'm kind of rooting for you not to give up points either. So, it's actually a win-win-win for me.
Okay.
All right, let's go to second down, all right? Diana Rossini reported today that Cooper Kupp of the Los Angeles Rams is available. We talked about this last week. Should I get excited? Do we got a shot?
I don't know, and I'm not. Even if I did, I wouldn't tell you.
Why? Fantasy purposes. Let me know.
Just if y'all just wait for the trade deadline, because after this trade deadline, I ain't talking to nobody about this. It's every week. Who are we getting this week? Who are we getting that way? Y'all just need to relax. Let us just focus on the players that are on the Pittsburgh Steelers right now. Can't keep worrying about shoulda, woulda, couldas. If this guy comes here, what is this going to be? Just worry about the guys that are here that are locked in for this team.
I think Steeler fans are ready for the trade deadline to come and go. I'm sick and tired of talking about this every week.
You just brought it up.
Well, because we have to bring it up. Because think about this. The what-if wide receiving core of the Pittsburgh Steelers, the what-if Devontae Adams, Brandon Ayuk, Cooper Kupp, George Pickens, that is the best wide receiving core in the league.
What if Joe Green came back and played?
What the? Come on, no.
What are we doing?